What happens when one of Hollywood's most elegant and composed actresses walks onto a talk show set expecting a simple film promotion, only to find herself trapped in the most vicious ambush ever televised? What follows is the moment Nicole Kidman, an actress who has spent 3 decades mastering grace under pressure, finally reaches her breaking point and delivers a takedown so devastating it leaves Joy Behar speechless, humiliated, and exposed as the petty, jealous host she truly is. This wasn't just another celebrity interview gone wrong. This was a public execution disguised as journalism, and by the end, only one woman would walk away with her dignity intact. The morning of November 12th began like any other promotional day for Nicole Kidman. She had a new psychological thriller to promote, already generating serious Oscar buzz. Her publicist had confirmed the appearance on The View weeks earlier. A normal stop on the talk show circuit, usually filled with light questions about costumes, co-stars, and behind-the-scenes fun. Nicole had done hundreds of these interviews. She knew the rhythm, the predictable dance of celebrity promotion. She arrived early, auburn hair perfectly styled, dressed in an elegant cream outfit that balanced charm and sophistication. In the green room, she sipped herbal tea and went over talking points with her team, completely unaware that Joy Behar had spent the previous night digging through decade-old interviews, tabloid rumors, and unverified gossip, assembling an arsenal designed to destroy her. Those working on the set sensed something off immediately. Joy arrived earlier than usual, tense and unusually quiet, clutching a folder stuffed with printed articles. She barely spoke to her co-hosts. Whoopi Goldberg sensed trouble and tried asking what was going on, but Joy brushed her off with a tight smile. The makeup artists whispered they'd seen this look before. Joy was hunting, and when Joy hunted, blood was spilled before the commercial break. The audience filed in, excited to see Nicole in person. The warm-up comedian did his routine. The theme music played, the cameras went live, and Nicole Kidman walked onto that stage with the grace and confidence that made her one of Hollywood's most respected actresses, completely unaware she was walking straight into an ambush. Welcome back to The View, Joy began, voice dripping with false sweetness. I'm Joy Behar, and we're here with the incredibly talented Nicole Kidman. Her smile was bright but hollow. Nicole sat down gracefully, returning the smile with genuine warmth. The first several minutes went exactly as expected: film discussion, character depth, the challenges of shooting, compliments from the other hosts. But those watching Joy closely saw the shift. Her posture stiffened, her jaw tightened, and her questions grew sharper. The audience shifted uncomfortably. The co-hosts exchanged worried glances. Something was brewing. Then Joy struck. "You know, Nicole," she said, her tone suddenly cold. "I was reading some of your old interviews last night. Fascinating stuff. You've been quite vocal about your political views over the years, haven't you?" The temperature in the studio dropped. Nicole recovered with professional poise, gently trying to redirect the conversation back to the film. But Joy pressed harder, her questions becoming pointed, aggressive, almost gleeful. She accused Nicole of selective activism, inconsistency, hypocrisy, her words sharpened to wound. Whoopi attempted to intervene, urging Joy back on track, but Joy ignored her completely. She wanted a confrontation, and she pushed until Nicole's patience began to fracture. Nicole remained composed as long as she could, answering calmly, correcting Joy's insinuations, calling out the twisting of context. But Joy escalated further, bringing up a past controversy involving Nicole's production company and attacking her integrity directly. The other hosts were horrified. The audience was silent. Nicole's voice finally turned icy as she called out the ambush for what it was: dishonest, manipulative, and beneath any real journalist. Joy exploded, standing, pointing, accusing. Nicole fired back, no longer hiding her anger. Two powerful women clashed openly on live television. The usual polite celebrity interview replaced by an unfiltered, brutal showdown none of them would forget. The moment Joy dropped the pretense of journalistic curiosity, the air shifted. Nicole, you made some comments a few years ago about the entertainment industry and how it handles social issues, she said sharply. You claim that silence makes people complicit. Do you still stand by that? Or was that just another case of Hollywood virtue signaling? The phrase virtue signaling landed like a slap. Nicole's jaw tightened, her blue eyes warm and welcoming, just minutes earlier turning icy. Not sure what specific comments you're referring to? Joy, she replied carefully, her voice controlled but edged with steel. But I've always tried to speak honestly about the issues I care about. I've never claimed perfection. I've tried to be authentic. Asterisk Joy pounced. Oh, come on, Nicole. You know exactly what I'm talking about. To criticize the industry? For not doing enough, for staying silent, for protecting powerful people. But then, when it actually matters, you're right there collecting your paychecks and staying very, very quiet. The studio fell silent, except for the low hum of the cameras. Nicole inhaled deeply, fighting to maintain the professionalism that had carried her through decades in the spotlight. Her voice dropped into a dangerously quiet register, one that anyone who knew her would recognize as a warning. Joy, I think there may be some misunderstanding. I've supported the causes I believe in, publicly and privately. I've put my money where my mouth is. I've shown up. I've used my platform consistently. Asterisk Joy responded with sarcasm so thick it nearly filled the room. Really? 'Cause from where I'm sitting in, I've been sitting in this chair a very long time. It looks like you. Pick and choose when to have a conscience, depending on what's most convenient for your career. For the first time, a crack appeared in Nicole's composure. Her voice sharpened. I'm not going to sit here and have my integrity questioned based on twisted interpretations of interviews taken out of context. Asterisk, twisted. Joy leaned back with a predatory smirk. I'm just pointing out inconsistencies in your public persona. That's what journalism is, holding people accountable. Or should I just sit here and help you sell your movie like every other sycophantic interviewer? Nicole stared at her in disbelief. Is that what you call this? Journalism? Joy, I came here in good faith to discuss my work and your manufacturing controversy where there is none. Asterisk, the tension thickened. Camera operators glanced nervously at each other. Producers in. The control room signaled frantically for Joy to calm down, but she ignored them. She had blood in the water. Oh, if you think tough questions create controversy, maybe you're not as committed to those lofty principles you love to preach, she said coldly. Maybe the problem isn't my questions. Maybe the problem is your inability to handle being held to the same standards you demand from everyone else. Asterisk Nicole's hands clenched in her lap, knuckles white. Her breathing quickened. Any student of body language could see she was nearing her breaking point. But she still clung to professionalism. You know what, Joy? She said evenly, though her tone had gone brutally cold. I've been interviewed by some of the toughest journalists in this business. People who challenge without attacking. I can tell the difference between hard questions and a hit job. And this is not journalism. This is something else entirely. Asterisk Joy's eyes gleamed with malicious triumph. A hit job. That's a serious accusation, Nicole. Maybe the real problem is that you're not used to someone who isn't intimidated by your fame or your Oscar nominations. Asterisk Nicole finally snapped. Accountable for what? For having opinions. For caring about issues. For not being the silent, compliant puppet you apparently expected me to be? Her voice rose with real anger now. For giving a damn about things beyond box office numbers and award shows. Asterisk the audience was frozen, witnessing an unprecedented meltdown of the celebrity interview format. Even the camera crew seemed immobilized as Joy pressed forward, feeding off Nicole's frustration. Oh, so now I'm the villain for asking you to explain your own contradictions. That's rich. Truly rich. Asterisk, what contradictions? Nicole demanded. All politeness gone. You keep making vague accusations without citing anything. If you have something concrete, say it. Stop hiding behind innuendo and calling it journalism. Asterisk Joy leaned in, voice venomous. Fine, let's talk specifics. She lifted her chin, relishing every second. 3 years ago, you told The Guardian, silence in the face of injustice makes you complicit. Those were your exact words. But when that scandal broke involving your production companies, investors with very questionable business practices and even more questionable political connections, where was your voice then, Nicole? Where was all that righteous conviction? Joy didn't relent. Where was your passion for speaking out then, Nicole? Where was your commitment to not being complicit? Nicole's face drained of color, but her voice stayed steady, miraculously so. That situation was completely different, and you know it, she said, though a tremor slipped beneath her words. There were active legal proceedings. Speaking publicly could have compromised ongoing investigations. My lawyers explicitly advised asterisk. Oh, how convenient. Joy cut in with a sneer. Legal proceedings. The perfect excuse for selective activism. Tell me, Nicole, how do you sleep at night knowing you profited from those investments? Millions of dollars. By the way, all while lecturing the rest of us about moral responsibility and speaking truth to power. Asterisk, the other hosts looked horrified. Sunny Hostin's mouth fell open. Sarah N. stared at Joy as though watching someone self-destruct in slow motion. Even Whoopi, who had weathered more explosive moments on The View than anyone else, looked painfully uncomfortable. Sunny tried desperately to save the sinking ship. Perhaps we could discuss Nicole's extensive philanthropic work instead, she suggested, almost pleading. Nicole, you've been a UN Goodwill ambassador. You've worked with so many charities. Asterisk, but Joy sliced the air with a dismissive wave. No. Sunny, I think the audience deserves to hear Nicole explain how she reconciles her public statements with her private business dealings. Isn't that fair, Nicole? Isn't that the accountability you claim to value so much? Asterisk, Nicole's composure hung by a thread. Joy, she said, her voice trembling with barely contained rage. What you're doing right now is exactly what's broken in the media today. You're taking incredibly complex situations, stripping away all nuance and context, and presenting them as black and white moral failures. It's dishonest. It's dangerous. And frankly, it's beneath you. Asterisk, beneath me. Joy's voice rose to a near shout, her face flushing red. I'm not the one who built an entire career playing the virtuous leading lady, the moral compass, while making backroom deals that contradict everything I supposedly stand for. At least I'm honest about who I am. At least I don't pretend. Asterisk, honest. Nicole laughed, bitter and humorless. You call this ambush honest? You invited me here under false pretenses. You prepared this attack without giving me any chance to respond or provide context. And now you're acting like some crusading journalist exposing corruption. This isn't honesty, Joy. This isn't even close. This is cowardly. The word detonated in the air. Joy's face reddened further. Cowardly. She repeated, her voice trembling with fury. Did you just call me cowardly? I've been asking the hard questions in this business longer than you've been playing dress-up for the camera, sweetheart. I've taken on presidents, prime ministers, CEOs. Don't you dare question my courage. Don't you dare condescend to me. Asterisk, Nicole finally snapped, her fury erupting like thunder. I have spent my entire career, my entire life, fighting to be taken seriously as an artist and as a human being. I've fought battles you can't even begin to imagine just to be seen as more than a pretty face. And I will not sit here while you try to tear all of that down with your tabloid tactics and manufactured outrage. Asterisk, Joy rose from her chair like a prosecutor in the final moments of a trial, jabbing an accusatory finger at Nicole. Tabloid journalism. I'm exposing the hypocrisy of Hollywood elites who think they can lecture regular, hardworking people.